Good evening, everyone. My name is Victoria Chumba, and I am currently serving as the 2020 to 2021 elections chair. Today, we are here with our wonderful candidates for our firewall event. They're ready to answer all your questions, and we also have a lovely host. You all know him, you all love him, Mr. Akili Smith, our former SGA vice president. Let me go ahead and pass on the baton to him.
Hey, everyone. So definitely excited to be here. Definitely excited to get started. So we're going to kick back in where we left off, and we're going to go back to Trinity. All right, Trinity. So the question that we had for the second question is that, do you believe that you have the full support of your 2023 class on your mission to become their queen?
Well, first of all, going into this position was definitely a risk. Let's just start there. Going from being behind the scenes and then on top of that, my freshman year I lost. So it was definitely a risk to run again. But this time I was just like, I'm just gonna come back stronger. And I have got good feedback. I have this year to create relationships with the students on the campus. I've been involved and I've been there. You know, a lot of things that came up on campus, me and the Shine Board and things like that, we have collectively come up with those ideas together. And I do feel like I have a great amount of support, but there's always going to be that percentage where you just don't know, but you know, you just don't know.
Thank you for that answer. Definitely appreciate it. Next, we will be moving to Anaya Jackson, the sophomore candidate.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, so the question that we have for you is, what exactly is your plan as Miss Sophomore? Because this position is nothing compared to being Miss Alex Haley.
Right. So if I were elected to win Miss Sophomore, I am very organized. So I have wrote down many events I would have planned and things I would do for the class of 24. And just as Bowie State as a whole, because I've always just been interested in being a student leader. And I actually wanted to run my freshman year to be a part of SGA because I was a part of SGA in high school, but I just didn't have the time. But since I do now, I feel like I'm ready to own the position and, you know, do what I need to do.
Well, thank you. So your second question is, do you believe that you have the full support of your 2023 class in on your mission to become their queen?
Okay, so similar to what Trinity has said, you know, there's always that percentage. We're both equally liked and we're both equally known and put out there, like we put ourselves out there. So I don't know if I really have the full support, but I know that I am likable and I know what I can do for the class.
Awesome, thank you so much. So next we are going to move on to our Mr. Sophomore candidate. And we'll wait for the first one to come pulled up. All right, hello Tay, how are you?
I'm good, how about yourself?
I'm doing well. So your first question is, what programs do you have planned if you win? And why should you win?
What programs do I have planned if I win? So, as a lot of you guys know, I served as chief of staff in the freshman class for Shine Class Board last semester. So I've heard a lot of things that the class of 24 didn't like, such as they felt that it wasn't enough diversity being involved, like their music wasn't being played and stuff like that. So one of the events that I definitely have in mind is a diversity event to get all those cultures, all those different states, like the different types of music that they listen to, culture, like try to get everybody involved so that they feel comfortable to dance and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, they're all paying to go to a school in a different state. So that's one of the events that I have planned.
Okay, thank you. And then your second question is, what will be your impact on campus?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
What will be your impact on campus?
What would be my impact on campus? So honestly, I feel that my impact on campus would be, and like I'm running on the platform Inspiring Action. Last semester, I've joined a lot of organizations, again, served as chief of staff, and I also ran for Mr. Alex Haley. So I've talked to a lot of people in my resident community and a lot of people in my class, and talk to them about the different things that they wanted and stuff. So I feel that my impact would be my voice and how we carry things, because I like talking people into furthering their career, doing more what they want to do and stuff like that. So that's where I feel like my impact would be, inspiring students to continue their education, go harder for what they want to do.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Taya.
No problem.
All right. So next we will be moving on to Jason Michelle, second Mr. Sophomore candidate.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing good.
All right. So your first question is, rumors have it that last year you did not take your loss well. If it happens again this year, what will you do differently?
Thank you for that question. This year, I just want to talk about going back. So I just want to take full responsibility of all the things that, I've did. But this year, I also want to show my peers that I'm a student leader, and I'll always hold myself accountable of all my actions, and that I've grew by, connecting with the right student leaders, shout out CAB, being out with the president and talking to the vice president and making sure that growing and staying consistent with my growth.
Definitely. And your second question is, do you think that you can and will do a better job than the current Mr. Freshman?
Thank you for that question. I want to say like Caleb, I really like Caleb. He's a really good friend, me and him connect. But I feel like both of us had like different plans in what we wanted to do. And with my platform, Mission Unstoppable, I feel like I would be like a better advocate to the peers in my class. And also I wanted to, inspire, motivate them to, have that better mentality and going 100% in everything that they do. So I feel like that is what I'll do better than the last Mr. Freshman.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
So next we are going to have the third candidate, Aaron Jackson Mackey, excuse me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm doing well. I wasn't able, I came in a little bit late before the introduction, so I'm just going to introduce myself really quick. Greetings. I am Aaron Jackson Mackey, a communications major with a concentration in broadcast journalism, hailing from Prince George's County, Maryland, and I'm running to be your next Mr. Sophomore for the 2021-2022 academic year. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Definitely. Thank you for the introduction. So your first question, do you think that you have a chance against Jason and Taya?
Yes, I do. My platform is based on a lifestyle of mine. It's just not something that I came up with. Walking the extra mile means exceeding all expectations no matter what. So I feel like I have the tools to push the class of 2024 in the right direction and exceed expectations, because we've already done that so far, just being on campus this first year. So yes, I do.
Thank you. So your next question is, do you believe that you have the full support of your 2024 class on your mission to become their king?
Yes, I do. This year, I was the commuter service representative. When freshman year came on, I was a little bit hesitant to run for any position. So I wanted to test the water. Staff didn't get that position, but I worked hard and became the commuter service representative. And being from Prince George's County, a lot of students come to Bowie State University, maybe because it's a local school, or they see that it's something to get their feet wet here. I was able to connect with a lot of students off campus, here and there, letting them come to the university and say, hey, here's what we have to offer. Here's some events that you can come to. And a lot of kids were hesitant because of COVID restrictions, but I made it a safe space with students off campus to say, you could come here, you can still have fun, and don't limit yourself just because you're at home this semester, these first 2 semesters.
Thank you very much. So those are your 2 questions. And next we will be moving on to the sophomore class presidential candidates. And our first candidate will be sophomore class president candidate, Niana Perkins.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. So your first question is, some believe that your lack of campaigning has to do with the fact that you are running unopposed. How would you address this statement?
That's a good question. This year, it's definitely different than freshman year. We had to go against more people. So this year, we kind of just kept it cool and collected. We kind of are letting everybody else put themselves out there. But best believe once we get back into the positions for this year, we're going to come 10 times harder than what we were doing freshman year. Now that most of our class is going to be back on campus, we're going to come with the activities, we're going to come with the programs, we're going to come with the community service, we're going to come with all that. And we're going to make sure that we're doing much better than what we were doing freshman year.
Awesome. So your second question is, why did you decide to run with the same running mate and the same platform name as you did last year?
That's definitely another good question, and I knew that was gonna come. Me and Kyrie definitely talked about this. We decided to stick together because we're just compatible. I couldn't see myself running with anybody else. I couldn't see myself being partners with anybody else. Kyrie knows when there's some days I just need a break. And I know when there's some days he needs a break. And if I need a break, he'll do the work. If he needs a break, I'll do the work. So we just know that we're good teammates and we can get the work done. We decided to keep Shine because this year for our freshman year, we weren't really able to have our full class on campus. So we decided that we're still in a pandemic. We still have half our class off campus, on campus. So we're still going through new experiences and we still need that light and we still need the shine and we still have to keep pushing forward because the pandemic is still here. It's not going to go away that quick. We still have to move around and take safety precautions and all that. So we just decided to keep that and to keep shining on.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So next we are going to have Kyrie Jones as Vice President Representative. So your question is, based on the last election and what you were able to accomplish this semester, what improvements do you feel that you and your presidential candidate can make?
The improvements that me and Niana can make together as far as from last semester when we ran is that we're going to throw more events. We're going to connect more with our fellow peers to be able to hear their voices, get their voices announced. As before, we try to get the extension of staying longer because of the pandemic. That was a mission we had. We got it pulled through. Even though a lot of people didn't stay, we still made that mission. We heard from our peers. We went to the highest people above us, SGA, of this year, and we still got it done. So we're going to push through to hear people's voices and to get their message announced.
Awesome. And your second question, how do you feel like your conduct around campus after 5 p.m. represents your class?
The conduct after 5 p.m. represents my class. So everyone knows, like, when you're in this leadership position, you're supposed to be on your 10 toes. But, you know, after 5 p.m., you become yourself. I choose, and Niana choose, not to expose ourselves where though it's not a bad representation. It's where though people really see us for who we are, even without the SGA and while being a college student as well. So we combine it together to keep it professional for ourselves.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we are going to have our junior class royal candidates, and we're going to start with Shanice.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
Okay, so your first question is, you have been seen publicly disrespecting women on social media. How can you call yourself a king? Oh, excuse me. Might have got the wrong questions. Give me 1 second.
Take it.
Let's see. Sorry, just one more second. I'm trying to find it. Oh, okay, got it.
Okay.
You have been you have been seen publicly disrespecting women on social media. How can you call yourself a king when you don't respect women? I think that question might have been phrased wrongly, but just take it as queen.
Okay. For one, I run my platform under being unapologetically me. And I would sit here and be lying to you guys if I say that being the unapologetically me means that I'm perfect. I have made mistakes in my life. I have said things that wasn't right, but that's all about growth and being me. It's all about growing your mindset and maturing as you go. So I addressed the situation. I've apologized for the situation. And from this point on, all I can do is move forward.
Okay, thank you very much. It looks like the questions might be mixed up just a little bit, so we're going to take 1 second to figure it out, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
What's up? I see your confusion.
Yeah, Chinese questions are wrong.
Akili, I found her questions. So I have the first one right here.
Okay.
Yep, and we will send it to you now.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay, got him. We're all good to go. Okay, so your first question is, this is my first time seeing you run for a position. What have you been doing on or around campus?
Well, for one, I actually ran for Miss Freshman. So for that person, I ran for that. But what I've been doing around campus is honestly, I would say uniting more so of the females on my campus. I feel like I've done a lot when it comes down to the women of the class of 2023. If a lot of people don't know, me and 3 other of my colleagues have started a program on campus called Melanin Girls, which is the women empowerment program on campus. But I think that was my main focus. And I also was a part of SGA my freshman year. So being secretary in that position, and also this year being secretary of Board Women in Business.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much. And your second question is, do you believe that you are an approachable personality and can firmly represent Bowie State as Miss Junior?
I do believe that I have an approachable personality because I'm me all the time around campus. Even when I'm upset, even when I'm having fun, I'm me. So I feel like I do have an approachable personality, and I do believe that I can represent the College of Bowie State University.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, so next we are going to move on to the Mr. Junior candidates. And our first one should be, let's wait and see. All right, Kevin Kennedy. So your first question, or first of all, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So the first question is, how do you want to be Mr. Junior when I have never seen you do anything for the Bowie community? What have you done for our campus?
Well, first, thank you for that question. Recently this year, I decided to step my foot into student leadership with becoming an NSO leader over the summer. I worked with the freshmen, did a lot of stuff. Due to COVID, we were virtual. After that, I decided to join the CAB street team, getting involved with different campus activities and whatnot. So as far as my involvement on campus, it's definitely improved this year, trying to be involved with student leadership.
All right, awesome. And your next question is, some of your colleagues believe that you have appeared to be unreliable or inconsistent. How do you plan on refuting this in the future?
Well, thank you for that question. As far as being inconsistent, I cannot speak about the past. I can only talk about the future. And going forward, I can just keep pushing, making sure I get out the information I need, reach it to my class, and serving my class as best as I can.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and our second candidate is Keon Woodward. So your first question, Keon, is what made you want to come back and why did you leave?
Well, I'll answer why did I leave first. Unfortunately, I got really mixed up in, being a freshman and having too much fun. So I ended up falling behind on where I needed to be, which is why I took my break, so I can get myself together mentally and academically. And what makes me want to come back is, man, I love Bowie. Like, this is really like my whole everything. So of course I want to put my best foot forward and do what I got to do to help the community.
No doubt. So your next question is, how would you maximize the Royal Court page on social media to benefit the students?
When you say maximize, you mean like make it more out there?
In whichever way you feel that you can best answer the question.
Okay, thank you for that question. How I would maximize the Royal Court page is, I guess, posting more. We see the Royal Court, the page posting when like something is going on, but instead like keeping them updated with the Royals have going on like a weekly basis kind of feel. Yeah, thank you for that question.
Absolutely. All right. So next we will be moving on to our junior class president candidates. And they should be pulling up real soon. All right. All right, so I'm gonna ask you could please introduce yourself and state your platform and position.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Daryl Thorpe, running for junior class president, and my platform is boundless.
All right, so Daryl, what are you gonna do for the class, because we haven't seen much from you as Mr. NCNW?
Thank you for that question. So me and my running mate, Alex, we have different strategies and different events to implement for primarily communal residents. I could just tell you one off the top of my head, we have move-in driving night. Well, a drive-in movie night for our residents. You showing your green pass at the gate. You come in with 1 or 2 guests, and yeah, we want to feel like we want to have everybody inclusive in a class of 23, whether you're on campus or not. So many different events coming up though, most definitely.
All right, and your second question is, why should we vote for you for junior class president if this wasn't your first choice? Is there a reason?
Thank you so much. So I have actually been prepping for this position for quite a while now. I just wanted to enhance the growth of my class, and I just wanted that to be proved within my campaign and my running mate as well. So this was always my first choice. I would not put my best foot forward if this was my first choice.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I'm gonna ask first that you could please introduce yourself and state your platform.
Okay, I am Alex Sullivan. I am running with Daryl Thorpe to be junior vice president, and our platform is Boundless, which is breaking the glass ceiling for young men and women.
Okay, awesome. So your first question is, being that neither of you have been involved on campus or in SGA, what makes you think that you are capable of successfully representing your class and running a class board without allowing it to affect your academics?
I would just like to say that although I haven't been involved a lot, my first semester as a freshman, I did run for a class for Miss Freshman, which I did end up losing, but it taught me a lot of like things, and it got me in contact with a lot of people in my class and just being able to talk to them. And second semester, I was involved with my Tubman Hall building. I was actually, I think, the secretary. I can't quite remember. And then COVID happened, so my time was cut short. But I have a very good work ethic. And I hope I don't sound cocky, but I do work during the semester. And just from second semester of my freshman year, where I was doing Tubman Hall Council and working most nights of the week, I did get a 3.7 overall GPA. And last semester, when I was taking my classes for my majority of my major classes for biology, I was working and babysitting children 3 days a week for 5 hours at a time, and I still ended with a 3.8. So I feel like I have a very strong work ethic. And although I'm not as involved as I would like to be, I would really love this opportunity to be able to give my class something that I wish I could get as well. So thank you for that question.
Of course. Thank you for that answer. So your next question is, do you think that your campaign team can slack off since you are running unopposed?
One more time.
Do you think that your campaign team can slack off since you are running unopposed?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm running unopposed. I do have some great people that I'm running against, and I don't think we're necessarily slacking off for our campaigning. I think that me and my running partner, we just have so many great ideas, and it's a process that you have to go through to get things approved so that you can post things. And sometimes we get the stuff approved and then we're like, we want to change it and everything. And really, it's just about us perfecting our craft. And it's not us like slacking off or anything. And don't let that affect the reason why you might vote for us, because that's not what we do. Like, we're not slackers at all. And we have a lot of great things planned and a lot of great things that we want to do for our class. So thank you for those questions.
Of course, thank you so much. Next, we will be moving on to the Senate Member at Large candidate. All right, so first of all, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and state your platform.
Hi, how is everyone doing? I am Chukwude Nuwalu, running on the platform of EPIC. Everything positive inspires change.
Okay, so your first question is, do you feel as though you are in a real campaign right now? How would you feel like things would be going if someone else had ran against you?
Thank you for that question. I do believe I'm in a real campaign right now. Just because I'm unopposed doesn't mean I'm not in a real campaign. And what was the second part of the question?
How do you feel like things would be going if someone else had ran against you?
Well, I feel like it will be the same. I will be dropping more content. I'm just letting everybody else do their own thing right now because a lot of other people do have running mate. I mean, a lot of other people do have competition. So I'm letting them get their flyers out there and get their stuff out there so people can really see what they're doing and what they're trying to go for. It doesn't mean that I don't want people to see my stuff, because people are. So
Okay.
thank you.
Of course. So your next question is, why should we vote for you when we feel that we know nothing about you or your campaign?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that question. So more stuff will be dropped on my campaign. Right now, I'm just fasting from social media. So once I get off my fast, y'all will see all the content I got.
All right. And your third question is, are you running for these positions for clout?
Thank you for that question. No, I don't need clout. If I wanted to do anything I need to do, I could still do it without this position. Thank you for that question.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, so next we'll be moving on to the Miss Bowie State University candidates, and I'm gonna have the first one introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great evening. My name is Janina Simone Hutchinson, and I am humbly vying to be your 75th Miss Bowie State University.
All right, thanks, Janina. Could you also state your campaign really quick?
I'm running under the platform Connect the Crown, bringing royalty to every Bulldog.
Okay, so your first question is, many think you feel entitled to the crown. How will you cast away this opinion?
Thank you for that question. It saddens me to know that some people feel that I feel entitled. However, I try to combat that by letting people know that I genuinely care about how the student body feels. I'm more so doing this because I feel as though leaders should care about how you represent and how they serve their student body, not about more about what it's about for themselves. So I don't think being a leader or being in this position is more about me, but what I can do for the people.
All right. Your next question is, how do you think being an NSO leader has prepared you for being Miss Junior and possibly Miss BSU?
Thank you for that question. I absolutely adored being an NSO leader. It was probably one of my favorite experiences at Bowie. I definitely during that time learned how to connect with a variety of individuals, especially from various backgrounds. Within that time, NSO sessions can get anywhere from 50 to 100 students at a time, and you have to learn how to command a space in a welcoming and inviting environment. We're in a situation where students, you kind of have the upper hand because they're looking for you for guidance. So I've learned how to command spaces and how to relate to people and offer them a sense of security, a sense of reassurance through that. And it also showed me how to effectively run programs and just be relatable to everyone.
All right, so your next question is, do you honestly think you are personable? I often get scared to talk to you because of how you carry yourself and with your affiliations.
Okay. Thank you for that question. I wholeheartedly understand how me being involved in a lot can be kind of intimidating. However, I try to present an open environment. I tell people all the time, you're free to DM me. You're free to text me if you would like my number to talk to me. If you stop me, I'll speak. I know sometimes I can be heading places if I am involved in a lot. Sometimes I have to be places, but I always smile. I always say hi. So I would like to believe that I am personable. And if I am giving off a intimidating environment or an intimidating atmosphere, I apologize, and I will most certainly try and reach out to everyone.
All right, so your next question is, if you do not become elected, will you still stand on the values of your platform?
Thank you for that question. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I don't believe it's necessarily about the exact position, but what you can do for the people. So I'm not only doing this to say, oh, I'm Miss Bowie State. I'm doing this because I want to give the student body what they have been asking for. I'm very big on listening and advocating for my peers. So with or without the title, I will still try and find other avenues to do things such as connect with my class, offer a variety of events, pretty much just create, like I call it, that cookout feel back at Bowie State University.
All right, and then your last question is, outside of trying to take on the role of Miss BSU, what have you done for your community that will influence your decisions once you've won outside of your sorority?
Thank you for that question. So outside of the potential of me having this title, outside of me even being currently Miss Junior and outside of my sorority, I am currently involved in Queen and You, the youth mentorship program on campus. I'm currently vice president of that. And we mentor young girls, middle school to high school ages, and we kind of just set them on the right path in life. I know times are a little difficult right now, so it can be a little, with things changing and social media being so prevalent, it is hard for young girls to kind of find their way. That is something I'm very involved in, I'm extremely passionate about, as well as during the summertime. I know there was such a political tension and political uprising. So during that time, I definitely took some time out and tried to find my place within the protests that were going on. And I created a support organization called Black Angels, where we collected money and passed out supplies that would help out protesters, such as food, water, medical supplies. So outside of this, and I kind of don't really broadcast it as much because it's something I do for my own fulfillment, just want to help and be there for everybody.
All right, thank you. And next we are going to have Imani Reed, the second Miss Bowie candidate.
Hello, everyone, and humble salutations. I am Imani Nicole Reed, a rising senior, criminal justice major hailing from the prominent Prince George's County, Maryland, and I'm vying to be the 75th Miss Bowie State University on the platform of Mission I'm Possible, finding your passion and letting your passion fuel you to make your dreams a reality.
Awesome. So your first question is, many think that you feel entitled to the crown. How will you cast away this opinion?
Thank you for that question. This is actually a great question. First, I would like to say I do not feel entitled to the position. I feel that me being Miss Sophomore me being Miss Black and Gold has showed my consistency to serve the university, to serve the community as a whole. So with that, I just feel like it has taught me leadership positions. It has given me leadership qualities, leadership skills to be the Miss Bowie State University and continue the legacy of those before me. Thank you.
All right, so your second question is, how would you respond to students stating that you are not approachable or not easy to talk to?
Thank you for that question. First, I wanted to apologize to my BSU family if it may come off as that I'm not approachable or I'm not easy to talk to. That is something that I will continue to work on with or without this position, because at the end of the day, college is about self-development and you have to be interpersonal to see how other people view you as well, to better yourself, and we're human. So everyone's not perfect. We do make mistakes. So moving forward, I will continue to fix it. Thank you.
All right, so your third question is, it has been said that you have an unappealing attitude. How are you going to handle extremely frustrating times amongst your core elected Miss BSU?
Thank you for that question. That is another good question that I talked about in my live earlier. Being on this court and just matriculating through BSU this far has shown me that I had to do some self-development, and my attitude was a big issue for me that others seen and that I seen in myself. So moving forward, when I did take the step to realize that my attitude was not always the best, I have been self-developing to make that better, not only for those around me, but for myself, because I feel as though in order to pour into other people, you have to be okay yourself. You have to make sure that you're self-developed 100% before you can give back to other people. So moving forward, I will continue to work on my attitude, and my apologies if it came off that way. Thank you.
All right, so your next question is, being that we're in a pandemic and you didn't do much as Miss Black and Gold, how do you plan to change that if elected as Miss BSU?
Thank you for that question. As Miss Black and Gold, the duties are to find attire to help Miss BSU with her programming, and as well assist with the court and passing down information from Mr. and Ms. Bowie State University. Moving forward, if elected to be the 75th Miss Bowie State University, I will continue to carry the legacy of those before me. I will continue to program. I will continue to build a community and focus on the main parts of my platform, which will help BSU in the future, which is purpose, finding your purpose, having passion, your why, what makes you drive to get up in the morning, what pushes you in the morning, and people giving back to those, because someone once poured into you, so you should pour back into others. Thank you.
All right, and then your final question is, in your campaign, you talk a lot about what you have done in the past and the accolades you hold, but there's not much talk about what can be done in the future and how you plan on bettering the school. Why is that? Do you think status is more important than a person's true intentions?
Thank you for that question. I do not think status is more important. However, based on my campaign, it is very personable. Mission I'm Possible is something that is similar to my testimony. Being in, for my flyers and my whole campaign, I showed the Queen Imani, I've shown me personally, and I've shown ROTC. Being that that's what I am, and that's who I am. Some people see me, oh, she goes to ROTC. ROTC sees me as a cadet. Queen, yes, she was Miss Sophomore, she was Miss Black and Gold, and me, who my friends see and who I know that I am. So meshing those together. So I feel like each one of those assets has made me the person that I am today and the great leader that I am today to continue to lead BSU, whether I'm Miss Sophomore, whether I'm Miss Black and Gold, whether I'm in ROTC, or whether I'm elected to 75th Miss Bowie State University. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So next we are going to have the Mr. Bowie candidates, and we are going to start with Najee, and I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and also state your platform.
Greetings, I am Najee Remy Speaks Farewell. I am a rising senior here. My platform is PACE, Perseverance, Accountability, Consistency, and Excellence. And PACE is, the slogan is run your own race. It's just about being slow and steady and waiting for your timing.
All right, so your first question is, did you genuinely want to run for Mr. BSU, or did you feel obligated or entitled because you just crossed Alpha and your current Mr. BSU is also a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated?
Thank you for that question. I do not like to associate any fraternal things with running my campaign. I try to keep that away from this. That is nothing that I have associated with, running my campaign. My campaign is strictly about pace, slow and steady wins the race. This was something that I wanted from when I first walked on Bowie State's campus from the previous leaders, starting off with Anthony, Kyle, Roland, Jalen, and Durante Craig. Thank you.
All right, so your second question is, how will you uphold the impact and involvement our current Mr. Bowie has had on the campus community? Will you be approachable?
Yes, once I just want to apologize to the Bowie State community. Sometimes my demeanor may come off, a different way, but I'm actually a very fun guy to be around. I'm actually very open. My DM is open, my phone number is open. Anytime anybody wants to reach out to me and talk, I'm here for that. And what was the second part to that question again, please?
Second part was will you be approachable?
Yes, very approachable. And I'm open, like I stated before.
Okay, so your final question is, are you running for Mr. Bowie to benefit from personal gain?
No, nothing that I do, I like to benefit from personal gain. The sacrifices that I make as a king and as a leader for this community is for the upholding of Bowie State's community. I see a lot of potential in all the Bulldogs that I come in encounter with. Everything that I do is about Bowie State University. It's about making sure that everybody else is set, hosting interviews, pop-up shops, just getting exposure to a lot of my fellow Bulldogs is something that I'm very heavy on.
All right, thank you. Definitely appreciate it. So next we will be moving on to our second candidate for Mr. Bowie State.
Greetings, everybody. My name is Shandon Lamont Adams, a rising senior hailing from the breathtaking Baltimore City, Maryland, and I am honored to be running for your 29th Mr. Bowie State University under the platform Reclaiming Our Power, the blueprint to manifesting the force within us to overcome, achieve, and claim victory.
All right, thank you, Shannon. So your first question is, do you think you effectively used your position as Mr. Essence to prepare you for Mr. Bowie State?
I was Mr. Black and Gold, the first attendant to Mr. Bowie State University. Sure. And yes, man, I honestly believe that, I've done my duties and I've done what I'm supposed to do as the Mr. Black and Gold. And like I said, Jalen, he has had a perfect reign. It was fun being this attendant. I've learned a lot from him, and I also learned to make sure that to make my purpose my potential, and to realize that a lot of people aren't going to be your friends, but a lot of people are going to be on your supportive side, and to understand that being his first attendant, it kind of helped me realize, and it kind of helped me get into the mode of me preparing to be the next Mr. Bowie State if elected. How to run a campus, and I think Jalen kind of actually, kind of putting forth for that have actually shown me. So I definitely want to shout out to him for doing that, man. Appreciate it.
All right, so your second question is, Mr. Bowie State interacts and networks with many people. Prior to campaign season, we didn't hear from you. Why do you think you're prepared to be the face of the school?
So during my campaign races, I have been very interactive as possible. I've had in-person events. I've talked to a lot of people while passing on readers, snacks, waters, and also explaining it to them my campaign. So, I know it's a pandemic going on, but you got to understand that you got to try to move around those areas and try to do the best that you can. And so that's what I kind of did. I also stand uplifting by God, and also being able to interact with the students on Instagram Live by having them being prayed over through all their obstacles and struggles.
All right, thank you. And then your final question is, due to your lack of vocalness, how do you plan on being the face and the voice of the university as Mr. Bowie State?
So I don't think I'm very, I don't think I'm not, social, but I do plan, sometimes to stay to myself sometimes. And Bowie State University, I extremely apologize if it feels as though that I am not approachable. I'm very approachable, and everybody at Bowie State knows that. And when you get to know me, have fun. I'm the first person, that always excited, even coming down to NSO. I've won in NSO 2 years in a row. I know some of my NSO students are on here, and they could tell you that winning 2 years back to back in NSO, being able to, produce an opportunity for my students at Bowie State University, that kind of helped me. So I really do think I'm social, and I'm approachable. I want you guys to know that you can talk to me. Like, you don't got to be scared. I'm not gonna bite.
All right, so thank you, Shandon. And next we are going to be moving on to our CAB president candidates.
Greetings all, my name is Kendall Bay, a rising senior psychology major hailing from PG County, Maryland, and I'm running alongside Adisay FA under the platform Fully Loaded.
All right, let's see if our video is good. So your first question is, how do you believe you're the best candidate for this position when you can't control a team that has antagonized the opposing candidates?
Now, allow me to answer that question by saying that I was not aware of this. If me or my running mate were aware of any of our campaign team antagonizing opposing candidates, it would definitely have been handled and definitely been addressed, because we value running a fair and nice race, because we actually do respect our opposition. Malik and Austin are both very, very capable candidates. And even though we do believe that we can also serve as campus activity board president and vice president just as well, if not better than they can, we do want to run a very fair and nice race. So if that has happened, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I sincerely apologize about that. And yeah.
All right, so your second question is, how do you plan to relate to the younger generation, seeing as though you both are above age?
I'm glad. That is a great question. And allow me to say that I guess the best way for me to answer that question would be to result back to my duties and my time spent as a resident assistant on campus. So for the past 2 years, I've been a resident assistant, and I've actually had to work hand in hand and very closely with two classes of freshmen. And I have greatly familiarized myself with programming and what it takes to effectively communicate with the younger generation of Bulldogs and the upcoming generation of Bulldogs. So I do believe personally that I am very prepared and very eligible in order to relate to the younger generation of Bulldogs and the incoming generation of Bulldogs as well.
All right, thank you. So your next question is, where it is you and your running mate are the underdogs. Do you look at that as a bad thing?
Well, I can honestly say that throughout this entire campaign, me and my running mate have been confident, and we do not perceive ourselves as the underdogs, even though there may have been times where, as human nature usually suggests, we do get discouraged. We do not perceive ourselves as underdogs because we are genuinely confident that our rap sheet and our resume thus far and the things that we have completed on campus and even the things that we've completed outside of an SGA position greatly show that we are greatly capable of handling and serving our class and helping Bowie get back to normal after a pandemic. So I don't necessarily consider myself an underdog, and I sincerely doubt that my running mate considers themselves that as well. But I just want to say that we are confident and we do want to run a very fair and nice race.
All right, so some students claim that you guys are not serious. Is this true?
Thank you for that question. And it is far, far, far from the truth. We're very serious about this. The message that we want to send to the students actually goes way deeper than simply having good and fun activities to have on campus. And it actually goes deeper than simply just looking good in our position. We want to show that people can run for this position and can be a part of SGA and be a part of something greater on campus, no matter how you look, no matter how you sound, no matter what your background is. And we want to send a deeper message to our students instead of just things such as, oh, they can have good events, oh, they can carry themselves properly. We want to show that even for the generations that come afterwards, we want to show that anybody and anyone can do this with the right amount of hard work, effort, and confidence.
All right, and then your final question is, how will you ensure that your street team will have a proper relationship with their fellow peers and not prioritize their friends?
That is a great question. So First off, let me say that me and my running mate, we both learned throughout this past year serving in SGA that it is very important to prioritize business over friends, and that sometimes when you do prioritize a friend over business, things can happen in such a way that things get strenuous or not unnecessarily stressful. So that will be definitely be something that we have to sit down with our street team and actually talk about, in the sense that this is something that is unacceptable on our street team and on our administration. So we just want to institute and encourage a kind and welcoming environment for not only amongst our street team, but the way that our street team interacts with other students on campus.
All right, thank you, Kendall.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not sure if we're gonna do this with both of you here or one, so let's find out.
I'm here as well. I didn't know if you was going to introduce me or not, but I can introduce myself if you would like me to.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's have you introduce yourself and state your name and position and platform.
Okay, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Edisei F.A. the Sixth. I'm a communications major, broadcast journalism, and I'm partnered up with Kendall Bay. Together, we are Say Bay, aka Huey and Riley, aka Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, because we have dreams. And we're running under the platform Fully Loaded, which honestly explains itself. Nice to meet you, Mr. Smith.
All right, nice to meet you too. So your first question is: you are normally viewed in an excellent light, excuse me. When conflicts come about, how will you handle them and prevent miscommunication?
Well, when conflicts happen, I consider myself a very empathetic person. I can kind of feel a situation before it escalates. So, and I'm really, really talented at doing that. It's like a God-gifted talent. So doing so, I'm also very communicative. I also communicate well. Me being a communications major should show that. But I also know how to calm people down, saying I come from a very large family. I have 7 siblings. And all we used to do when we were younger was bicker and argue. From my mother and my father bickering and arguing to my younger sisters bickering and arguing. So I'm very adept at diffusing a situation. And also the fact that people know the experiences that I've had growing up, and also the growth that I've had coming through Bowie State, from my first day meeting Mr. Peters with my pants sagging and my tattoos out, to me now talking to you with a tie on and my nice little sweater and everything and my glasses on. They'll listen to me because I have experience.
All right. So your second question is: are you running for clout?
No, sir. I actually don't even have any social media. I am BSU 22 on Instagram alongside my 2 marketing directors, Elisha Good and Akira White. So together we just build the Instagram page up, and we've been posting on that Instagram every single day since Black History Month. So honestly, if that page gets clouded up, that's perfectly fine with me, but that would be a 3-man effort. Well, a 2-man and 1-woman effort, but I currently have no social media, sir.
Okay, so your third question is: during the debate, the moderator asked you about what new event you could produce, and you had no answer. The point of CAB is to have events and activities for the campus. How are you prepared to be in charge of all campus activities?
The reason I didn't have an answer at the debate was because I wasn't actually there. I was in Dr. Phyllis Gillian's class yesterday from 5 to 7:30, and I was pretty active in that class. I was vocal, talking to everybody, and I raised my hand plenty of times with the Zoom feature and gave my opinions on male and female relationships to her. Thank you for that question, Mr. Smith.
All right, so your last question is: during this campaign season, sometimes students are blocked and unfollowed on social media solely because they were posting opposing candidates. Do you feel that is professional behavior?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time?
Sure. So during this campaign season, sometimes students are blocked and unfollowed on social media solely because they were posting opposing candidates. Do you feel that this is professional behavior?
I don't feel it's professional, but I don't feel that it's professional behavior because everybody is entitled to their own opinion and to support whoever they feel that they should support. At the end of the day, we are all Bowie State Bulldogs. We are all colleagues. We are all friends. We are all brothers and sisters. And at the end of the day, if somebody asks you to support them or you feel somebody is better for the position than somebody else, then that's fine with whoever, that should be fine with whoever felt some type of way or just felt upset, jealous, or whatever they felt. But if I was in that situation, if I had social media to even be aware of that, I would let bygones be bygones because that's what friends are for. Friends are here to support each other and to help each other, not to be jealous of one another. Thank you for that question, Mr. Smith.
All right, thank you for that answer. So next we'll be moving on to the representative for CAB president. And we're gonna wait and see when he pops up.
Greetings, I am Malik Richardson. All right, here we go. Greetings, I am Malik Richardson, a rising junior, mass communications major with a concentration on strategic public relation. And I'm running alongside my running mate, Austin Carver, aka DJ Mitt, as your next CAB vice president for the 2021-2022 academic year. And we are unleashed. Breaking those chains, getting rid of all restraints, and releasing the true bulldog in you.
All right, thank you, Malik. So your first question is, how do you plan to successfully hold an office in CAB when you didn't fully commit to your current position, roles, and responsibilities?
Thank you for that question. I feel as though I can fully commit to this role as my past history, I felt as the need to, let my student leaders above me, SGA President, Vice President Courtney and Layton, and Coach T, invest more into me. As you guys know, last semester was a COVID year, trial and error year. So it was a lot of obstacles that were thrown my way. So I felt as though going through that process and going through those workshops with Coach T and Layton and their guidance helped me learn how to execute and maneuver in my next go round as a student leader, because they gave me new skills and a new mindset. It helped me gain a new mindset.
All right, so your second question is, CAB is the org responsible for large-scale events on campus. How will you effectively hold this position and this classified information when you've been known to spill secrets?
So I feel as though this organization, like you said, CAB is a big organization. So with everything that Mitt and I plan together, or with our street team, we'll keep it confidential. We're working on my confidentiality a lot, but I will not be spilling any secrets because we want to surprise the campus. We want to host events for the campus and keep those, sneaky maybe performances to ourselves, because we want you guys to be hyped and we want to reveal everything to you guys. So I will be working on my confidentiality. And if I have broken confidentiality with any of my Bowie students, I apologize, and it won't happen again. And I'll make sure it won't. Please hold me accountable, and I'll hold myself accountable as well. Thank you.
All right, so your next question is, Malik, your ability to complete a task is questionable. How can you overcome such a flaw?
So my execution has been over this semester has been a little rocky with the things that were going on, but I know that my partner, my running mate, is my backbone. He has my back. So this is a team effort. It's no I in team. So I can say that the execution will come from the both of us, but I know my partner will hold me accountable and help me and walk through those doors with me and not leave me behind. Thank you.
All right, so your next question is, it is no question that this year has not been the best year for you regarding your role as sophomore class president. So are you only running for CAB because it's fun and games?
The reason why I'm running for CAB, I wouldn't say for fun and games. I sat on the street team for 2 years. I sat on Limitless and I sat on New Era. And I seen the hard work and dedication that both, I would call them administrations. I see the hard work and dedication that both of them had withheld, And I feel as though it's not for the fun and games. I feel as though I know what the campus wants, and people have been reaching out to me, telling me what they would like to see. So I don't want to sit down or sit back and be on the street team anymore. I really want to provide for the campus and execute for the campus as we do come back for campus. And I have all the skills and my mindset to do so.
All right, and then your final question is, how will you ensure that your street team will have a proper relationship with their fellow peers and not prioritize their friends?
Okay, so one thing about that I'm really about is application processes and interviews. So I won't prioritize things to my friends because as I saw on one of my boards, I had half friends and half new people. Sometimes, you know, your friends will pull through for you, sometimes they won't. So my second board was I didn't have any friends on my board. And I feel as though that balance that you have your friends and don't have your friends will come together, but nobody will be prioritized. I believe in applications and interviews because I really see who is ready and who has the work ethic and who is ready to execute and not just there for the events and the free activities. And looking at my campaign team right now, that's what I'm kind of doing right now. It's like a little interview process. If we are if we are granted this opportunity. So just, you know, got to scope out the room, scope out the person, and go from there.
All right, thank you, Malik.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And next, we will be moving on to our second CAB Vice President candidate. All right, so can you let us know your platform and also tell us who you are?
Greetings, everyone. My name is Austin Nasir Carver. I'm a rising junior hailing from Baltimore, Maryland, communications major with a concentration of broadcast journalism. And now I'm running to be your next CAB Vice President, along with my running mate, Malik Richardson, who is running for CAB President. And we are running under the platform Unleash, trying to unleash the true Bulldog in you.
Okay, so our first question is, are you running for CAB VP to gain clout?
No, clout is not that important to me, to be honest. I really just would like to have the Bulldogs at Bowie, you know, just make sure that they have the best time that they have possible. Because everybody says college was the best time of their life if they went. And I just want all the Bulldogs, no matter what class you're in, what age you are, whether you're a commuter or you reside on campus, I want everybody to just enjoy themselves as much as they can and have as much fun as possible.
All right, so your second question is, how do you plan to balance CAB and being a student?
I always, one way that I would do that is I always make sure that I make time. I have a schedule, actually. I just made a schedule so I can have time for everything that I'm doing that's school related, everything that I'm doing that is DJ related. So I make time to practice my craft. I make time to study my work and actually do my homework. So I just make sure that I'm very organized with everything that I do.
All right, so your third question is, are you only running with Malik because he was indecisive about who he wanted as his running mate?
No, not at all. Actually, we came together and talked about running as CAB president, vice president. We both knew what we wanted to do as CAB president, vice president. So we knew that together, when we put our brains together, we can make Bowie the best campus that it can be for all Bulldogs.
Okay, and then your last question is, accountability is one of Bowie State's most important core values. Seeing as how you guys are well known on campus at this time, how do you feel that you will be able to set examples of what a model student leader is?
Well, I already somewhat am a student leader already because I am the campus DJ. So I make sure that everything that I do, whether it's on social media, whether you see me on campus, whether you see me out in public, off campus, it's always something positive. You know, I make sure that everything that I do is something positive and that it will not only make myself look good, but make everybody around me look good as well.
All right, thank you. And next we will be moving on to our SGA Vice President candidates. One of my favorites. So starting off, can I have you tell us who you are and what your position is?
Yes. Good afternoon, evening, everybody. My name is Sahara Parker. I am running for your next student government vice president alongside my running mate, Ty Stewart, and we are running under the campaign Speed.
All right, so your first question to here is it true that you are settling with this position?
No, No, thank you for that question. So, as a lot of people know, I was president for my first 2 years at Bowie, and then I decided to do commuter service. And then, to be completely transparent with everybody, this year was supposed to be my final year in SGA. But then Jataya came to me. She laid out her plan. She laid out her vision, and she was so passionate about it. And when you're seeing something so clearly, it becomes your vision as well. And so I believed in what she came with, what she brought to me, and I wanted to see it actually happen. So I had no problem being her vice president.
All right. And then your second question is, being as though you both made a point to mention that you've been in SGA during your campaign, is it true that you only run in the circles of your mutual SGA peers? How will you appeal to the majority of the student body that aren't SGA involved or in the inner crowd?
So I have friends throughout Bowie. I am not a shy person, and neither are my friends. I have always said that I have friends in different groups. I don't belong to any group. SGA has been a very close-knit family for me, and I appreciate them beyond anything. I appreciate them so much. They've held me accountable, and they've helped me to grow into the person that I am right now. But they are not the only group that I hang out with. I am a theater major. It's my job to be personable. So no, I don't hang out with one group. I don't want anybody to think that either.
Okay, and then your final question is, what qualities / expectations will you look for / have for your board, and how will you hold them accountable to their positions?
I look for everybody to be transparent. I want everybody to hold themselves accountable and the people that we're working with accountable. I want everybody to be motivated and excited about what we want the campus to be. We want to bring back what Bowie was. And I understand right now we're in COVID, so it's kind of hard for everybody to see the vision that could happen. But I want the board to believe in me and Jataya's plan as much as we believe in this plan. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next, we will be moving on to our second SGA Vice President candidate. Should be coming in real quick.
Arshawn actually isn't here right now. He is.
Got it.
He's under the weather, so I do apologize for that.
Okay, so in that case, we're going to move straight on to our SGA president candidates. And we will start first with Jataya.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jataya Stewart, and I am a rising senior majoring in science education. And like my running mate said, we are running under the platform speed, distance over time. It's not about how long it takes, it's about how far you go.
All right, so your first question, Jataya, is how are you going to make sure that your administration does what's good for everyone and not just your friends?
Thank you for that question. So I'd say I would like to lead by example, because if people know me, I'm not a person who just sit and talk to one group of people. Like you can be a complete stranger and I will speak to you and like try to get to know you and try to figure out like, what is it that you want? You know, I feel as though like if my board is a group of people who have the same mindset as us, like we will all be on the same page and want to help Bowie State become a better university, then I think we'll be good.
All right, and then your second question is, did you run for SGA president because you believe that your position would be handed to you given your student leader experience?
Thank you for that question. No, that actually wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind, honestly. I ran because I see the potential that Bowie State has, and I wanted to be the one to see be the change in my school. Honestly, I feel like if I thought that, I would not be dropping as much content and trying as hard as I am. So honestly, I just feel like I have to work just as hard as the next person. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so next we will have our final SGA president candidate, and I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and state your campaign.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Devin Cash. I am currently vying to be the next Student Government Association president, along with my running mate, Arshawn Moore, under the platform, the Bridge Administration, with the quote of building our campus back together piece by piece.
All right, thank you. So your first question is, it is to be said that you only did this position because Arshawn lost his partner. Are you just a place filler?
Thank you for that question. In actuality, to be transparent, it was actually I who lost my partner. My partner transferred to Radford University, and he actually went there and just won DAP president. So shout out to DeAndre. But he's not a place filler. He actually came with the recommendation from the individual that I initially planned on running with. So no, he's not a place filler. We have like minds. We are both approaching this platform and this campus with the same goals.
All right, and then your second question is, how do you plan to connect with the students, given that you are older or more seasoned?
Thank you for that question. I got that last year. So I will take that standpoint to say I'm easily to get along with. I easily communicate with people, and I easily reach out to people. With age comes wisdom, as most older people say. So I take my age and what I know or what I've learned with my age and pass it down to others. And that makes it easier to work with different people because I still have to learn and adapt to what the younger people under me need and need to prevail and to push through certain situations.
All right, thank you very much. So that should conclude our candidate questions. And now I will be passing it back to Victoria, our elections chair, and she will be taking it from here.
Yes, thank you so much for that wonderful hosting. I want to say thank you to all the candidates for coming out looking finely dressed and professional, answering all the questions that we have today. I'm sure that all the students did enjoy it. We want to thank you all for coming out. Once again, I do want to thank our lovely host, Mr. Aki Smith. If we could all give him a round of applause for the wonderful job that he did.
And I also want to say thank you to everybody who's been a part of this. I definitely understand that campaign season can be tough. And shout out to the people who put this on, the team. It's really a team effort from candidates to organizers to advisors. Everybody works together to make this work for the university. So I definitely want to say shout out to y'all. And then also, I definitely appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it today.
Thank you so much. And as you mentioned, we want to say thank you to our wonderful advisors as well. Coach T, Miss EJ, and the lovely Miss Wedderburn. We couldn't do this YouTube Live without you. With all that being said, we want to thank you guys for coming to join us tonight. I know it is coming from us from the elections and from all our lovely candidates, those who are here. And